The devil is real and you should be aware of it. Now, I'm not saying he's this red guy with these big horns, this cape, and a trident going, ha ha ha, I'm going to get you today. But spiritual warfare is real. The devil's real. Demons are real. And you need to be aware of it. I'm Daniel James, and today I'm just going to explain to you what I mean by this. Now, before I get started, I think that's three, that's two. Two very incredible books that I encourage you to read are Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill and The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. Now, why do I recommend these two books? Because Hollywood and cartoons have made us spiritually weak. They've made us imagine that the devil or demons are fake. But all you need to do is go back in history, look at folklore. Here in Vietnam, there's a lot of Chinese influence, and you see little demons and lions on loads of architecture. You see it all throughout Christianity, Irish folklore. Demons, devils have been a common thing for thousands of years. But why is it in 2026 we believe that they're not real? I want you to ask yourself that. Why do we believe that the devil and demons are no longer real? Why is it that for thousands of years, multiple nations, faiths, spirituality, mysticism, whatever you want to follow, all believed in the devil, in demons, but today in 2024, we don't believe it's real. Now, the reason I bring up these two books, because they give you a really interesting perspective shift. Now, Outwitting the Devil, if you're going to read the book, I actually encourage you to find the audiobook and listen to it. It's recorded in a way where basically the devil is on trial and there's this deep, booming voice that acts as the devil. And then there's a lawyer that is asking him questions. And he's asking him questions about how do you get people to, fall under your spell? How do you get them to do your deeds, your wishes? And it's all about drifting, becoming complacent, becoming comfortable. And it's that old analogy. If you want to boil a frog, you don't chuck it into boiling water because it will jump out. What you do, you put it in room temperature water and slowly turn up the heat. And I don't need to paint the rest of that picture. It's a fantastic audiobook to listen to. I think it's about 3.5 hours. I highly encourage you to do it. Now, the second book, Screwtape Letters, it's all about a demon. I think his name's Wormwood. Maybe Wormwood's the apprentice. Basically, there's a senior demon and his nephew is coming in, like how to work, how to become a demon. And he's teaching him all the ways to trick humans, to get them to like mentally separate from their partner, or, if your partner says something, rather than listening to what they're saying, you perceive it in a way through your lens that makes you reactive, that makes you angry, that makes you frustrated. Now, one of the best exercises that I've done in recent months, I actually went onto ChatGPT and I said to it, you're aware of C.S. Lewis's Screwtape Letters. Yes, obviously. Now, I gave it a voice note. When I say a voice note, I'm just talking to it through the microphone, voice to text, whatever. And I tell it about my life. So I say, I'm a 35-year-old man, dad of two, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, both boys, been married 10 years, business, etc., etc. And the more you can tell it, the better. And I basically said to it, here's everything about me. If you were going to write a letter to me or to the nephew, the apprentice, in the version of Screwtape Letters, what would you do to trick me? The results were almost breathtaking. It was, I've been married 10 years this year, and it was things like your wife will tell you something, constructive feedback, and you'll get annoyed. You'll get frustrated. You'll get defensive. and you'll start thinking, why is it always me? Why do I have to change? Why do I have to do this? Or maybe your boys, your children would just want to play with you, but you would perceive it as them being needy and interrupting you. And I need to do my work and I need to get this done. Why are they interrupting me? I know that they know that I'm busy. Now, do you see the shift? If you can pause in that moment, count to 10 and shift it and try and see it from their perspective. What are they trying to tell you? And approach it with love. This person loves me. They don't want to anger me. They don't want to frustrate me. They just want my attention, or they want my advice, or they just want to connect. Most of the time it's connection. When it comes to family, it's all about connection. Now, doing this ChatGPT prompt was an absolute game changer. You can do the same with Outwitting the Devil. And yeah, trust me, when you do this exercise, you will start to realize that maybe spiritual warfare and the devil and demons aren't that far-fetched. They're not something that you once saw in Hollywood or something that you once saw in a kid's movie or kid's cartoon or whatever it may be. And that maybe it's something that I actually need to be paying attention to. And rather than me cowering away, when you hear spiritual warfare, why is it that you go, that's bogus? Get curious. Why do you think that? Where has that come from? And what if it's not bogus? What are you going to do about it? What are you doing about it? Are you prepared for it? Are you even aware of it? Probably not. And if you're a man that's supposed to be protecting and providing his family, if you have young kids that are looking to you as a role model, how are you helping them to prepare for spiritual warfare? Now, I said it at the beginning, I know a lot of people turn their nose up, turn their head away when spiritual warfare is discussed, when people talk about the devil, the demons, whatever. But I always ask myself, why is it that we're so able to believe in dinosaurs, aliens, everything they tell us about the universe? But when someone says, oh, there's things out there we can't see, demons, the devil, angels, guardian angel, God, whatever it may be, why do we turn our nose up at it? Why do we turn away? Why do we get almost fearful? Is that something we've been programmed to believe? I don't know. Only you know the answer. So I encourage you this week, today, there's going to be another video tomorrow. I encourage you to get curious. I encourage you to do that ChatGPT and Screwtape Letters exercise, and maybe even put in there, why would I turn my head away when someone mentions spiritual warfare? Because guess what? If you're turning your head away, you're not looking, you're not paying attention, and that's when you're going to get sucker punched. See you tomorrow.